Hi, Gaye DeRusso with the Majestic rider here today with Disco. So he's been in training, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks now. And we've had him in the snaffle the whole time. And then the owner had also given me a Brenda Imus bit. And that's what I have him in today. He's been in it just yesterday and today. And I wanted to see how he was in the Brenda Imus bit because he did okay in the snaffle, but I had to put a fair amount of pressure on him, and I didn't want to keep doing that. And when we changed skates, he kind of threw his head up, so I wanted to see how he was in the Brenda Imus bit, and guess what? He was much better. So she didn't care, so I said, let's ride him in that. Now, the chain underneath his lip is not very tight. I can fit about 4 fingers in there. And so what I'm trying to do when I'm riding with different bits is just have the horse comfortable that they'll work well in it. I'm going to put pressure on in a second and get his head down. And then I don't want him overly tucked in. I just want his head kind of neutral. And I don't want to be hanging on him the whole time. And so a lot of times with the shanks, you can release a little bit more but hold the frame. But again, you can do it in anything you want. You can do it bitless, bridleless, whatever you want to do. But so this is working better for him. So he's done good with his flat walk, but he's been doing good with the saddle gait, and now we're also starting to work at his rack. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to flat walk and I'm going forward, and then we're going to start to saddle gait. Again, when I start to push him up to the next speed for his saddle gait, he has a foxtrot that's kind of in between there. So I push him kind of through the foxtrot, and I just keep going until he gets to the saddle gait. And that's when I relax a little bit on the rein and my legs, so he knows that's correct. Now we're going to the right because this is his worst direction, and sometimes when I push him forward up into this, he gives a little kick out. Now sometimes they do that if the saddle's bothering them, but usually they would do it all the time, just not at that speed. But he does have to carry himself in a certain frame in order to do that, and they can get sore while they're in training. Now, other times they kick out, it's just a temper tantrum. Sometimes it's hard to know in the beginning. But to me, it seems more like a temper tantrum with him. So here we go. We're going to speed up, so I'm holding light pressure. I'm adding both legs. He's starting to go faster. Now he's close to it, so I'm going to lighten my leg a little bit to see if that'll keep him from kicking out. And I don't want to be by the gate. Okay, now I'm going to go a little bit faster. Now, if you see a little bounce, I'm either foxtrotting or doing a step pace. We're almost there. Okay, there we go. So you'll see his ears kind of flopping. And now it's not the smoothest right now, so I'm going to bend him a little bit to the right. And that'll usually smooth him out. So he has learned everything. Turn on the forehand, turn on the haunches, and how to move his shoulders, so that will help me to get his gait. So it took me a little bit to get it smooth, but it's getting smoother. So I'm going to lightly touch him with just my right spur because he usually falls in. And just touching him just that very lightly smoothed him out. Okay? Now again, I don't need his head way tucked in. I just don't want it up in the air. And again, anytime I feel that soft little bounce, I'm just going to push him over. Now, he's learning, so I don't expect it to be perfect. He's got to get the muscles, and they don't get the muscles in a day. So if I get that soft little bounce, that's okay. I just try to correct it. But he's not a hard-pacing horse, so I'm not stopping or anything. Now, he used to be fast in here, and he's gotten very quiet because we're in here every day, and that's how you get your horse quiet in the arena. Or on the trail, you start riding them all the time there. And they should be getting better if you're doing the right stuff. Okay, so I do this for about 5 minutes, which in this arena is usually about 5 times around. And I'm not timing it because I'm talking. So every time his head goes up a little further than I like, I just hold pressure. I just tighten my fist up. Okay? So this is quite smooth. He's quite comfortable. And remember, this is the horse that just fell into the trot before. So just for, less than a month of training, I think he's doing great. Because it takes time to be able to hold it, and our arena is, thin in parts and deep in other parts, and that affects their gait. So I don't expect him to hold it perfectly the whole way around. But he's trying, and it was very good that he didn't kick out. I went into the gate slower than I usually do. I usually push him a little faster, but I was like, well, he's kicking out, so he's telling me something. I'm not going to let him get away with it, but I'm going to take it into consideration. There's something he doesn't like, and I'll just try to make it easier on him. Okay. Now this horse, as I ride him, I feel like his back has a little twist in it. Some horses do. So some horses you'll feel completely balanced on them, and some you'll feel like my hips bother me or this is bothering me. And if it only happens on one horse and not the other horse, it's usually that horse has a little twist in its spine. And so we're just aware of it, and a good saddle fitter can help you really get that saddle adjusted right for him. Okay, now a little soft bounce, so I'm just going to move his shoulders just a little bit. There we go. So this is like his intermediate speed. And before, he kept just speeding up and going up into his rack, and we didn't want that. Because what do we want? We want an adjustable horse, just like your car. There, he's a little bouncy, so move his shoulders. And we want him to go a slower speed if we want to go slower speed, and a faster speed if we want to go faster speed. You don't want to just walk and full throttle, and that's what a lot of them are, because that's what they've been taught. So you got to teach them how to do a slower speed for you. So you'll see, just like I did with the snaffle, at times I just push my hands forward, and he's doing much better keeping his head down and not taking off and going faster. So I keep testing, like, can you hold it? He's like, I'm getting better, Gaye. I can hold it a little bit without as much help. But I'm not going to throw him all away, because this is hard, and he does need my help to hold it. And the only reason he's doing it is so I can have a nice, smooth ride. What does he care? He's not riding himself. So he's doing it for me, so I'm going to help him. But I'm very light with my hands with this bit. I just use my fingers. You might not see anything, but I'm just using my fingers because that's all I have to do. But he's much happier. You'll see he's not throwing his head around as much as he did with the snaffle. Okay, so now I'm going to slow him down just by breathing and take my leg off. See that? See, I pushed my hands forward. Instead of pulling back, I pushed them forward, because now, just like you see all the horses come in training, now he knows how to read my seat and my energy. So when I stop riding, he slows down, and look how calm he is now, right? So now what we're going to do is turn on the haunches, and we'll do it a little bit away from the mounting block so he doesn't get tempted. And what I'm trying to do now is, as I do the turn on the haunches, is I'm trying to keep his head down, where before, I'm going to back up a little bit and then push him. I was letting him put his head up, and then I was asking for it down. Now, you see, he can do it with his head down. Good job, buddy. Good boy. Good job. Always tell him they're a good boy. Her girl. There's a girl. I always say him because I think more people have geldings than mares. And so sometimes I'll try to put she in. I have a mare, so I have nothing against them. I don't know. It's just a bad habit. I always say him. All right, so we're going to go back up to our flat walk. So I'm going to alternate my legs. I'm pushing a little bit with my seat. And his flat walk is getting better. It was a little choppy, but it is getting smoother. Okay, now we're slowly going to try to add some speed. And I'm going to hold the light contact. If it gets bouncy, watch the horse and see if you can see if he's fox-trotting or he's doing a step pace. And then we'll see if we can get it smoothed down. So here we go. I'm going to kind of sit up taller, increase my energy so he knows we want to do something. Now I'm going to squeeze with both legs. His head came up a little, but not bad. Now see, I got a little bounce. So I'm going to add a little bit more leg, but keep pressure and kind of push him through and go past that gate. Good job, buddy. Good boy. So he doesn't know which gait I want to do or why. So I got to train him to do that. Now he's pretty smooth. He has a little hop in his step, but not bad. Some of them will do that when they do a saddle gait. Mr. Nichols will do that. They'll kind of hop. Some people like it, some people don't. So if you don't like it, you just half halt, slow them down, bend them a little bit, and that'll usually get rid of the hop. And some of these horses, you know, they hop side to side when they do that saddle gait. That's fine. And then some of them do that gait elope where they're hopping because they're half canter. And Shane likes to do that because when they were riding him and they couldn't get him to gait before I bought him, you know what they did? They just cantered him all the time. And he cantered on his left lead, so that's the way he does it more. But he's starting to get out of it. Okay, so this is his saddle gait. It's a lateral gait. It's 4 beats. So it's like the left hind, the left front, the right hind, the right front. If he was doing a foxtrot, you'd see the left hind and the right front. That's a diagonal pair, so it's opposites. And then you'd see the right hind and the left front. Okay? So these legs are moving on the same side, but he is a trotty horse. When he's loose, he trots. Now this way, there he started falling apart. He's like, you want me foxtrot? I want to go slower. I'm like, no, not yet. So this horse, he gaits pretty nicely, but it's harder for him to the right. I can feel it. He's weaker on that right side. When I watch him move, he's weaker in his right stifle. When I back him up, he doesn't back up straight, so I'm always helping him with my right leg. Okay? So the arena is really helpful at making your horse stronger with those things, because I always come in and I go to the right first, and I work more to the right than to the left, and then over time it'll even that horse out. But on the trail, you don't notice those things as much. And so you're not always working on it to strengthen that other side, to make your horse stronger and more balanced. Okay, so the little things you can't see me doing that I'm doing, I kind of vibrate my fingers a little bit as he's going, like right now, just a little. I just give a little squeeze, and all I'm doing is a tiny little half halt, helping him stay balanced. And then when I think he's balanced, then I give him my arms and say, "What? Can you hold yourself?" And he's like, "Yeah, but can I bring my head up?" And I go, "No, don't do that." So watch, I'm going to let go. Oh, there his head stayed down. Now it's starting to come up, so I'm going to pick up the contact again. So the only way he knows to keep it down is every time he starts to bring it up, I put a little pressure on him, and he's like, "Don't put pressure on me, I'll just keep it down." So if he gaits like this, or he was doing this on a loose rein, that's perfectly fine. I don't need him all framed up now. I only had to frame him up to help him with his gait, and it started with his head up, and then we slowly brought his head down, and he's very smart and athletic, so he's like, "I can do that." For some horses, it takes a long time to get their head down. And some horses, you can only bring their head down so far, or they fall out of gait and they start trotting. So those horses, you don't bring it all the way down. Okay, so he's doing really good, and I've been chit-chatting, so in a couple seconds, I'm going to bring him back to a walk. Are you ready? Here we go, and all I'm going to do is stop riding. 3, 2, 1. That's all I did. I just took my legs off, sat back, and you heard me take a breath. He's like, "Turn on the haunches now, that's next," right? So we're going to do our turn on the haunches, so we're going to look. Now his head's going up, so I'm going to put a little pressure on. And then I'm going to continue. If it goes up, I'll stop and put a little pressure on. Now he's keeping it down, so we're okay. He's like, "This is harder." And you know why? Because it's off his right side. So that's important to making your horse balanced. They can't do lots of things if they're not balanced. Okay? Now, I'm not going to take too long a break because sometimes he has a little hissy fit. So I'm just going to give him a couple minutes, and we're going to go off, and we're going to get back up into that saddle gait, and then we're going to speed up. Once we hit that, I'll go anywhere from 3 to 5 times around after I kind of see how he feels. And if he starts falling out of it, then I know that's too much, and I'll just go the other way, and then we'll quit. Okay? But he can go fast pretty well, and it's pretty fun. Now, when you saw me do the saddle gait, you might have seen me wiggle. That's usually when he's doing it, or it was smooth. or if you saw me bounce up and down, that's every time he hit a step pace. When I do this gait, as we go faster with the rack, you're going to see a little bit more wiggle in the saddle, like I'm jiggling my butt back and forth. All right, so here we go. Brakes over. He's like, really? Yeah, because we know you. Now again, we're going to the right. So I'm going to slowly go through this flat walk and try to get more speed, but I'm going to try not to use too much leg. So that's why I'm clucking, because again, I'm trying to get him not to kick out. Okay, so we got our saddle gait. Okay? We're going to bring his head down. You can see his ears flopping. All right, now all I'm going to do is add more leg, and we're going to try to rack. Here we go. So he did this before, but with his head straight up in the air. Now watch my body. Can you see me wiggling a little bit? Kind of side to side. When you're helping your horse do this, if you can feel it and you can coordinate yourself, you can kind of step in your one stirrup and then step in your other. Like left, right, left, right, left, right. But sometimes it's too hard to coordinate. Now as we go around, I'm going to let him go. And look. You gotta go back and look at his first video to see how big of a difference it is. Now, he's falling into the right now. But that's okay. We get it in time. But he's going pretty darn fast in here. Fast in here for the footing. Now you can really see me wiggle. He's like, I just want to get this over with. Go back to my present life. So you keep yourself balanced. There, I just touched him with my right spur to kind of help him just a little. Like, hey, could you move your body over a tiny bit? You think you could do that? And he's like, yeah, I can now. So he's getting stronger and he's getting better at it. So it's only going to get smoother. And it's hard to do this in the arena. If you can get that smooth gait in the arena, you're pretty good to go out on the trail, because the terrain on the trail usually helps you. Okay. So now, so we don't lose our momentum, we're just going to go across the diagonal of the arena, which means cut the arena on the slant. We're going through deep footing right here. That usually would make him trot before, but he didn't. And now we're going to go around this way. Now this turn's a little hard because he was going fast, so I sat back and kind of held him, which you might not see, but I helped him through that turn. Then I stay off the rail here because there's a big dip on the rail. It dips right there, so it makes the horses fall out of gait. Maybe you'll see me jiggle. Now in time we could go faster, but this is pretty fast for an arena that's not that big. And I don't want to go so fast you can't see me. And so as long as he stays in gait, they can go as fast as they want. The whole thing we're trying to do here is to teach this horse how to get the gaits and then stay in the gait, so he doesn't change speed unless I add more leg and ask him to, because a lot of horses don't understand that. They just go faster and faster and faster, because that's what people did. It's just ran them on the trail. So you're trying to work on letting your horse know how to do the gaits, help them, get them smoother, and show them how to stay in those gaits. Oh, look, I'm not holding him at all now. Now he started going up a little bit, but just that little pressure, and he came back down. So he's doing really well. We're going to try for one more time around. But again, sometimes I'm squeezing a little bit on the rein. And I don't have much leg on him now, but it is touching him. I'm not squeezing, but it's on his side, so he understands to keep going. So when I take it off, which I'm going to do when I get in front of the camera, then he'll understand I don't want to go anymore, and that means stop. So let's see if he can do it from this fast speed. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Nice job, buddy. Nice one. So see that? That was all just for my feet. So he gets a cookie. And we're going to give him a little break, and then we're going to do opening and closing the gates, which he has down pretty well now. There's no tricks. It's time. And again, every single time you see a horse comes in, I start at the beginning. I start with circles. I start with serpentines. I do the groundwork. And I teach him head down, give to the bit, lateral flexion, vertical flexion, all those things. And then the leg yields and the shoulder ins and the turn on the forehand and turn on the haunches. That all gives me control of the horse. So as he's going around, once he knows how to move his shoulders, if he starts getting a little bouncy and step pacey, I can move his shoulders or leg yield him, and that'll usually get him out of it. If he's getting crooked, which he does with that right hindquarter, I can bring my leg back, push it on him, and he understands that means move his hindquarter away from my leg, so that helps to straighten him out. But if he didn't, then when I put my leg back to straighten him out, he would just shoot forward and stay crooked. So you have to teach him the difference. When do they go forward? When do they go sideways? How do they know the difference? Because we can't tell them. So I hold pressure and put my leg on him when I want him usually to move sideways. When I want him to go forward, I relax my fingers a little bit so he knows to go. Now see how hard he's breathing? And he did a great job. He didn't complain once. He didn't have a hissy fit. No issues at all. That's a nice, willing horse. But, you know, he is a tester, and he did kick out and do some stuff that wasn't so nice in the beginning. But overall, he's a very good horse. But in horse training, no matter how good the horse is, if the horse has gotten away with stuff, sometimes they don't want to do it because they got away with it. And so why should they have to do it? So sometimes you got to be a little bit harsh or demanding in the beginning for you to find that good horse that's in there. And it's in there. It's in there. It just takes time. Okay? But the more that horse has been sitting in pasture, ridden wrong, just run around, and the horse either got to do everything he wanted and walked all over the top of the person, then the more they're going to have little temper tantrums, hissy fits. Okay? But that's just normal stuff. That's just life, right? All right, so let's go to the gate. Now, we do this every day, and now that he's gotten so good with everything, I'm going to start taking him out on trail, because now he knows all the cues, and then we might come back in the arena on those days if he's barn sour and work some, and if he's not, then we'll tie him up when we get back, because we don't, any horse that's barn sour, as soon as you turn towards home, they get faster. So what we'll do is, during the week, some of the days I'll ride him on trail. We're going to pull this in towards us. So some of the days I'm going to ride him on trail, and other days I'm going to ride him in the arena. So I'll kind of alternate. Good boy. So now because I've repeated this so many times, can you move your butt over? A lot of times I'll just start closing the gate on him. Now there he moved a little too far. That's okay. He used to do that a lot in the beginning. Now, I want to move his hindquarter off my right leg right now, and he's not moving it. Good boy. So I want to keep it up until he actually does it. Okay? Good job, buddy. So when a horse has one direction they are having issues with, I always turn that way. So you'll see as I go up here, which way am I going to turn? I'm going to turn to the right. Because it usually means that the horse has been turning the other way, and that's why he's not good at it. So I'm always going to try to turn him to the right to try to make him stronger. But that's a good horse if they are doing weird stuff in one direction, that you get a chiropractor or a body worker and a saddle fitter, because you're trying to help your horse as much as you can. Come on. You can do it. Move over a little bit. See, that's his right leg. Good job. So you're trying to help them as much as you could. So I think, those things would help, and maybe he already has those things going on, because Didn't ask the owner. But lots of horses are crooked in their back and in their spine, or weaker on one side. That's just normal, especially if you're a trail rider, because then the horse just picks its favorite side to work off of most of the time. Okay, and then you don't realize it, but they're just cantering on one lead out there, and their other lead never gets better, and so you never truly get a balanced horse. Oh, that's amazing, right? That was amazing. You got one more. You got one more. So look how well he's doing it. But it's because I do the same thing every day, so it helps him know what I expect. And I'm doing it the same exact way, so I'm not confusing him. Because it's easier to learn if you do the same stuff all the time, isn't it? Okay? And you have the same teacher. So now he understands. Good job, buddy. So overall, he's doing phenomenal. He's a willing horse. He did have some temper tantrums. That's okay. And that's just a normal thing in learning. Okay? Because they didn't have to do it before. So, of course, they're going to test. It's like when you were in school and the substitute teacher came in and everybody screwed around, didn't they? They're like, we don't have to do that. No, Miss Smith said we don't have any homework and blah, blah, blah. And you just screwed around with her because she didn't know. But if she was tough, oh, you straightened up and you're like, uh-oh, don't mess with this one. But if she wasn't tough, you walked all over her. And that's how the horses are. So they'll test you, and you got to show them who you are. Are you tough? Or are you one to be walked all over? That's okay, buddy. All right. So very good. I hope that helps some of you who have trotty horses or are trying to get the gait. His name is Disco, so I'll put his playlist together. I haven't yet, but you can search his videos, just Spotted Saddle Disco, and it should come up. And there we go. He's becoming a really nice horse.